Welcome, wanderer of time, you who tread the paths of moments fleeting, seeking the secrets of the mind's deep well. Sit by this fire and listen, for I speak of a state most rare, a place where the soul dances with the infinite. He, the scribe, writes with a hand unbound by doubt. She, the runner, moves as if the wind itself carries her. They, the painter, weave colors as though guided by the stars. This is the flow state where time bends and the heart sings in harmony with the task at hand. Yet, for many, this state is but a whisper on the wind. He gazes at an empty scroll, his thoughts tangled like vines. She seeks to craft, but the clamor of the world, its bells and chatter, steals her focus. They yearn to touch the divine spark within, but shadows of distraction hold them fast. What if, wanderer, there were a key to unlock this sacred state? A way to call forth flow as one summons the tide. Through the mists of the unconscious lens, we embark on a journey of 30 minutes to unravel the enigma of flow. He, the seeker, shall learn to wield this power, a gift of the mind that transforms toil into triumph. I, an old keeper of truths, will guide him through the science of the sages, the obstacles that veil the path, and the ancient practices to flow at will. Long ago, the sage Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi named this flow, where skill and challenge merge like rivers joining the sea. In this state, he becomes one with his craft. The hours vanish, the world fades, and his spirit soars. The learned ones, with their tools of light, have seen the mind in flow, its restless voices stilled, its fires of focus blazing bright. They say his deeds may grow fivefold, his creations touched by the muse, his burdens lifted as if by unseen hands. Flow is no gift for kings alone. He, the learner, finds wisdom clinging to his soul like dew to a leaf. She, the tinkerer, solves riddles that once mocked her. They, the weary, find joy in their labors, as if the gods themselves lend strength. From the humblest to the highest, flow is the flame that lights their way. But why, wanderer, does flow elude so many? He seeks the quiet of focus, yet the world's clamor, its glowing screens and endless calls, binds him. She longs to create, but her mind drifts to distant cares. They chase the spark, but doubt and chaos guard the gate. The world, it seems, conspires to shroud the flow state in shadow. Yet some, the scribe, the runner, the painter, pass through these shadows with ease. What ancient wisdom do they hold? Hear this, wanderer. Flow is no fickle spirit. It is a craft, honed like a blade on stone. He can train his mind to find it, as a falcon finds the wind. She can shape her days to invite it, as a gardener calls forth bloom. They can learn the rites, born of science and soul, to make flow their faithful companion. In this tale, he shall uncover the keys to flow. We will walk the paths of its making, name the thorns that block the way, and share the rituals to summon it at his command. From the dawn's first light to the mind's quiet corners, he will forge a map to his deepest potential. Picture him, wanderer. He sits to labor, and the world falls silent. His heart aligns with his task, and time itself bows before him. She faces a mountain of work, yet finds not strain, but delight. They pursue their dreams, not with struggle, but with the grace of a river carving stone. Such is the promise of flow, a gift he can claim. Linger, wanderer, for 18 minutes more as we delve into the heart of flow. He will learn its triggers, its rhythms, and the wisdom to make it his own. This is the unconscious lens, where the mind's hidden light is revealed. Stay and see what wonders await. Welcome again, wanderer of time, to the heart of our tale. You seek the flow state, that sacred river where the soul runs free. But what is this flow, this gift whispered of by sages and scribes? Let us climb to the peaks of knowing, to see it as the eagle sees the earth below. Long ago, in the age of seeking minds, sage Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi gazed into the human spirit. He saw not just toil or thought, but a state where the self dissolves into the act. He called it flow, a harmony where challenge and skill dance as one, like the moon pulling the tide. Through years of study, he mapped this river, finding it in artists lost in their craft, in climbers conquering stone, in weavers threading tales into cloth. Flow, he declared, is the mind's truest song, where effort becomes effortless. What marks this flow, wanderer? Picture him, the scribe, bent over his work. The hours slip away, yet he knows them not, for time bends like a reed in the wind. The individual loses track of time, as if the stars themselves pause their march. His hands move, his mind weaves, and no divide stands between them. Action and awareness merge as the river joins the sea, seamless and whole. Where once doubt clouded his path, now clarity shines like a beacon. Doubt is replaced by clarity, and he moves with the certainty of a hawk in flight. In flow, he feels no weight of self. The mirror of his mind grows still, reflecting only the task. He is neither bored nor overwhelmed, but balanced as a tightrope walker treads the thread. Joy arises, not from reward, but from the act itself, as if the soul whispers, "This is why I am." Such is the mark of flow, a state not of striving, but of being. But heed this, wanderer. Flow is no kin to common focus, nor to the fleeting tricks of the busy. Regular focus is a candle in the storm. He holds it steady, yet the winds of distraction threaten still. He wills himself to attend, but the effort tires, and the mind wanders. Multitasking, that false idol, scatters his spirit like leaves in a gale. She juggles tasks, each a stone in her hands, and none receive her full light. Productivity hacks, timers, lists, and schemes may carve paths through the chaos, but they are but tools, not the river itself. Flow is deeper, wilder, truer. Where focus demands effort, flow is ease. Where multitasking fragments, flow unites. Where hacks impose order, flow is the order of the soul. He does not chase flow with force, but invites it as one beckons a friend. The learned ones peering into the mind's chambers see this. In flow, the chatter of worry quiets, and the fires of creation burn bright. It is not mere work, but a dance with eternity. So, wanderer, know this flow as Csikszentmihalyi did, a state where he becomes the task, where time bows and clarity reigns. It is no fleeting trick, but a craft to be mastered. In the moments to come, we shall walk the paths to summon it, to make this river his own. Stay close, for the secrets unfold. Come closer, wanderer of time, and peer into the hidden forge of the mind. You seek the flow state, that river where the soul runs free. But what stirs within the head of he who flows? What alchemy lights the fires of focus? Let us journey through the mind's secret chambers, where the mysteries of flow are wrought. Deep within his skull lies the prefrontal cortex, the sentinel of thought, ever judging, planning, doubting. Yet, in flow, this sentinel grows still, a fleeting slumber called transient hypofrontality. As the prefrontal cortex quiets, so does the ego. Judgment fades. In its place, presence, precision, and pure focus. He is no longer a self, fretting over past or future, but a vessel for the task, as clear as the lake under moonlight. As the sentinel rests, a tide of elixirs rises. Dopamine, the spark of delight, surges, urging him onward, making each step a joy. Norepinephrine sharpens his gaze, like a hawk spying its mark from the heavens. Anandamide, the bliss of the ancients, washes over him, softening fear and binding him to the moment. Together, these potions weave a spell, his mind alight, his heart steady, his craft effortless. And hark, the rhythm of his mind transforms. The brain's ceaseless hum, its beta waves of worry, slows to the gentle pulse of theta and alpha. These are the songs of dreams and intuition, where insights bloom like stars in the dawn. In this rhythm, he sees not with effort, but with knowing, as if the universe whispers its truths directly to his soul. Behold the mind in flow, the sentinel of doubt silenced, the elixirs of joy and focus flowing, the rhythms of wisdom singing. He does not think, he knows. She does not strive, she becomes. They are not bound by the chains of self, but freed to dance with the infinite. The learned ones with their machines of light have seen this. A brain not working harder but wiser, its fires burning in harmony. Such is the forge of flow, wanderer. A mind remade not by force, but by surrender to the moment. Yet how does he summon this alchemy? How does she call forth these fires at will? Stay, for the path unfolds, and the rights to master flow await. Welcome once more, wanderer of time, to the final steps of our journey. You have seen the flow state, that sacred river where the soul runs free. You have glimpsed the mind's hidden forge, where focus is kindled. Now let us uncover the sacred ground where flow takes root. What conditions must he prepare, she nurtures, they summon, to call forth this state at will? Gather close, for the path to flow is both simple and profound. First, the balance of challenge and skill, the heart of flow's alchemy. When the task is too easy, the human mind drifts. Too hard, and it breaks. But in that narrow space in between, flow ignites. Picture him, the scribe, crafting a tale. If the words come too easily, his thoughts wander to distant shores. If the tale demands skills beyond his grasp, despair clouds his quill. But when the challenge stretches his abilities just so, neither too light nor too heavy, his mind locks in, and the river of flow carries him forward. Next, the beacon of clear goals. He, the blacksmith, does not swing his hammer blindly. Each strike aims to shape the blade, each spark a step toward his vision. In flow, he knows his purpose, be it to finish a verse, solve a riddle, or climb a peak. These goals are not vague dreams, but lanterns lighting his path, guiding his hands and heart. Without them, he stumbles in darkness, but with them, flow finds its course. Then the gift of immediate feedback. She, the runner, feels the ground beneath her feet, senses her breath, sees the trail unfold. Each moment tells her if she is swift or slow, on course or astray. In flow, he receives such tidings. His brushstrokes bloom true, his calculations align, his chords ring clear. This feedback is no distant judge, but a companion, whispering corrections or affirmations, keeping him tethered to the now. Flow demands a sanctuary, a distraction-free environment. They, the seekers of flow, must shield their minds from the world's clamor. In a room of silence or with ears guarded by will, they carve a space where focus breathes. A buzzing device, a fleeting thought, a sudden noise. These are thieves that steal flow's spark. But in stillness where only the task remains, flow finds its home. And last, the fire of intrinsic motivation. She paints not for gold or glory, but because the act itself is her joy. In flow, he is driven by the love of the craft, the thrill of creation, the pulse of discovery. No external reward can match this inner flame. When he works for his heart's sake, flow rises like a tide, unbidden and unstoppable. Yet, wanderer, behold the world beyond these truths. The modern realm is a storm of overstimulation, screens that scream, voices that demand, tasks that multiply like weeds. He checks his messages do these, and each steals a fragment of his focus. She races from one task to another, her mind a fractured mirror. This chaos is the enemy of flow, a tempest that drowns the quiet needed for presence. Flow readiness, by contrast, is a garden tended with care, ordered, still, purposeful. Where the world scatters, flow gathers. Where the world shouts, flow whispers. In the overstimulated world, they are pulled by 1,000 threads, messages, deadlines, noise. Their minds leap like startled deer, never resting. But in Flow's embrace, he steps into clarity. She builds a fortress of focus, where goals are clear, feedback is near, and distractions are banished. They labor not for fleeting prizes, but for the work's own song. This is the ground of flow, where the mind finds peace and the river runs true. So, wanderer, these are the pillars of flow, the balance of challenge and skill, clear goals, immediate feedback, a distraction-free haven, and the heart's own fire. He can cultivate these as a farmer tends his field. She can shape her world to welcome flow, defying the chaos that seeks to claim her. They can learn this craft and make flow not a fleeting guest, but a faithful friend. As our journey ends, know this: flow is within their grasp. With these conditions met, he enters the river at will. She creates, strives, lives, with a heart unbound. Stay, wanderer, and carry these truths into your days, for through them, the flow state becomes not a dream, but a destiny. Welcome, wanderer of time, to the heart of our quest. You have beheld the flow state, that sacred river where the soul dances free. You have seen its forge in the mind and the ground where it takes root. Now, hear the ancient craft to summon flow at will, a framework clear as a map of stars to guide him into the river whenever he chooses. Let us walk this path through the tale of a writer and see how he calls forth flow on command. He is a scribe, his heart heavy with unwritten tales. Once flow came unbidden, a fleeting guest. Now he seeks to master it, to open the river's gate at his bidding. Through 5 sacred steps, he builds a bridge to flow. The pre-ritual, clear objective, trigger isolation, challenge spike, and deep work block. Watch, wanderer, as his journey unfolds. First, the pre-ritual, the anchor of flow. Like monks chanting before meditation or athletes stretching before the race, he crafts a rite to signal his mind. The time for flow is near. Each morning he lights a single candle, its flame a beacon of intent. He sips tea, the warmth steadying his breath. He clears his desk, save for quill and parchment, as if sweeping away the world's clamor. This ritual, repeated daily, is no mere habit. It is a key turning the lock of his mind, whispering, "Now we create." Next, the clear objective, a lantern in the fog. He seeks not vague dreams like write well, but a goal sharp as a blade, time-specific, outcome-specific. By noon, he vows, one chapter shall live, its words vivid and true. This clarity is his compass, not a distant star, but a path marked in hours and deeds. It tells him where to aim his heart, and in its light flow finds direction. Then trigger isolation, the crafting of a sacred space. He tailors his world to cradle flow, as a gardener shapes the earth for bloom. He dims the light, letting shadows soften the room's edges. He silences the chatter of devices, their buzz banished. A single stone, smooth and cool, rests on his desk, a talisman of stillness. This environment, free of noise and distraction, is his forge, where flow's spark can catch and blaze. Now the challenge spike, the fire that tempers flow. He chooses a task just beyond his grasp, a labor that beckons his best self. Not a simple note nor an impossible epic, but a scene of dialogue, raw and uncharted, demanding his heart's full craft. When the challenge kisses the edge of his skill, his mind awakens, sharp and eager. Too easy, and he drifts. Too hard, and he falters. But here, in this narrow space, flow ignites. Finally, the deep work block, the unbroken vow of time. He commits to 90 minutes, a window where the world may not intrude. No glance at messages, no pause for wandering thoughts. Like a diver plunging into the deep, he submerges fully in his craft. In this sacred span, his quill moves as if alive, words flowing like a river unbound. The world fades, time bends, and he is one with his tale. Behold him now, wanderer. He lights his candle, the pre-ritual steadying his soul. He sets his goal, clear as dawn's first light. He shapes his space, a fortress against the world's clamor. He chooses a task that calls his courage. He dives into 90 minutes, unbroken, unyielding. And there, in the heart of his labor, flow arrives, not as a guest, but as a partner. His quill dances, his tale breathes, and he is no longer a scribe, but the story itself. Yet the world beyond is no friend to this craft. Its screens flicker, its voices demand, pulling him from the river's edge. But he, the scribe, has learned the framework. Each step, ritual, goal, isolation, challenge, time, builds a wall against chaos. Where the world scatters, he gathers. Where it distracts, he focuses. Through this system, flow is no longer chance, but choice. So it is, wanderer, for any who seek flow. She, the runner, may tie her shoes and breathe deeply, her ritual. He, the painter, may set a canvas and name his vision, his goal. They, the seekers, may shape their space, choose their challenge, and guard their time. This framework is a map etched in the wisdom of ages to summon flow at will. He need only walk its steps, and the river will rise to meet him. Carry this, wanderer, into your days. Light your candle, name your aim, guard your space, choose your challenge, and give your time. Flow is not a gift of chance, but a craft you forge. Let this framework be your guide, and enter the river whenever you call. This is the unconscious lens, where the soul's hidden paths are revealed. Go now and write your own tale. Greetings, wanderer, you who seek the river of flow. You have learned its nature, its forge in the mind, its conditions, and the framework to summon it. Now behold the tools, habits, and practices, the sacred implements to hone this craft. Through these, the flow seeker becomes the architect of their own state. With each habit, the mind is trained, not forced, into surrender. Let us weave this wisdom through the tale of a scholar and see how she carves her path to flow. First, the art of meditation, the stilling of the mind's restless waves. She, the scholar, sits each dawn, her breath a tether to the present. For 10 minutes, she observes her thoughts, letting them drift like clouds across a vast sky. This practice quiets the clamor within, teaching her mind to rest in the moment. In time, meditation becomes a bridge, easing her into flow when she takes up her quill. It is not escape, but preparation, a sharpening of the soul. Next, breathwork, the rhythm of life itself. She practices box breathing, 4 counts in, 4 held, 4 out, 4 paused, her chest a bellows, her mind a calm sea. Or she turns to the 4-7-8, inhaling for 4, holding for 7, exhaling for 8, a cadence that soothes her racing thoughts. These breaths are anchors, grounding her before she writes, clearing the fog of distraction. Like a bard tuning a lute, she tunes her spirit, readying it for flow's embrace. Then cold exposure, the shock that awakens. She wades into a stream at dawn, the icy water biting yet enlivening. Or she splashes her face with cold, a sharp call to presence. This brief discomfort stirs her blood, sharpens her focus, and banishes lethargy. Like a blade tempered in frost, her mind emerges clearer, primed for the tasks that call her to flow. It is a ritual of resilience, forging her will. Physical movement, too, is a key to flow. She runs through the forest, her feet kissing the earth, her breath syncing with her stride. Or she flows through yoga, each pose a dance of strength and grace. These acts, running, stretching, awaken her body, sending energy to her mind. They clear the cobwebs of doubt, making her a vessel for focus. When she returns to her desk, her spirit is light, her flow state near. Now the cognitive aids, subtle allies of the mind. She listens to binaural beats, their pulsing tones, theta and alpha waves, guiding her brain to flow's rhythm, like a river finding its current. She journals, spilling her fears and dreams onto parchment, clearing her mind as one sweeps a temple's floor. These tools are not magic, but lanterns, lighting the path to focus. Through them, she prepares her mind to enter the river. And what of nootropics, the elixirs some seek? She treads cautiously here, for the mind is no machine to be forced. Certain herbs or compounds, caffeine perhaps, or others studied by the learned, may sharpen her wit, but she consults healers and uses them sparingly. The true path to flow lies not in potions, but in habits. She knows the river flows best when the mind is nurtured, not prodded. Watch her, wanderer. She meditates, her mind a still lake. She breathes, her spirit aligned. She braves the cold, her focus honed. She moves, her body awake. She listens to tones, writes her heart, and treads lightly with elixirs. Each practice is a thread woven into a tapestry of flow. Day by day, she trains her mind, not with force, but with care, until flow is no distant star, but a fire she kindles at will. The world beyond tempts her with chaos, screens that clamor, voices that pull. Yet, with these tools, she builds a sanctuary. Where the world scatters, her habits gather. Where it distracts, her practices focus. She is no longer at the mercy of chance, but the master of her state. Flow becomes her companion, summoned by the rites she has learned. So it is, wanderer, for all who seek flow. He may breathe, move, meditate, journal, or listen, crafting habits that call the river near. She may shape her mind with care, knowing each practice is a step toward mastery. These tools are not burdens, but gifts, keys to unlock the flow state at command. Carry them and let your mind surrender to its own infinite song. This is the unconscious lens, where the soul's secrets are yours to claim. Welcome, wanderer of time, to the final chapter of our quest. You have learned to summon the river of flow, to craft its conditions and wield its tools. But flow is not merely a moment, a fleeting star in the night. It can be a way of life, woven into the very fabric of his days. Let us walk with an artist, a flow seeker, and learn the steps to make flow her companion, ever near. Through simple shifts and a sacred record, she shall live in flow. To live in flow, she must shape her world, not as a single act, but as a lifelong craft. 3 pillars guide her: digital boundaries, meaningful goals, and proper rest cycles. And with a flow diary, she will chart her path, step by step, as a navigator maps the stars. Listen, wanderer, for these are the keys to a life where flow is no stranger. First, digital boundaries, the shield against the world's clamor. She, the artist, knows the screens that buzz and beckon. Messages, alerts, endless scrolls steal her focus. To live in flow, she sets clear rules: no devices during her painting hours, a timer to limit their call. At day's end, she silences notifications, letting her mind breathe. These boundaries are not walls, but gates, guarding the space where flow may bloom. Step 1. She carves out time free from the digital storm, and her focus grows strong. Next, meaningful goals, the stars that guide her heart. She does not chase fleeting tasks, but purposes that stir her soul. By month's end, she vows, a painting shall capture hope, alive with color and light. This goal is not mere work, but a call to her deepest self, aligning her efforts with joy. Step 2. She chooses aims that matter, tasks that spark her inner fire, and flow follows like a river to the sea. Then proper rest cycles, the rhythm of renewal. She knows a weary mind cannot flow, as a dry well yields no water. Each night she sleeps 7 hours, her body restored. Each week she pauses, a day to wander, to dream, to be still. After intense creation, she rests, letting her mind mend. Step 3. She honors rest, balancing effort with peace, and her flow state returns, ever ready. Now, the flow diary, a sacred record to deepen her craft. This is no mere book, but a mirror of her flow, showing when it rises and when it fades. Step by step, she learns its ways. Step 4. She takes a journal, simple or grand, and each day she writes 3 things: when flow was achieved, what preceded it, and what blocked it. Let us see her do this, wanderer, and understand. At day's end, she sits with her diary. First, she notes when flow was achieved. Today, for 2 hours, she writes, the brush moved as if alive, colors blending without thought. Second, she records what preceded it. I lit a candle, silenced my phone, and chose a bold sketch. Third, she names what blocked it. A message broke my focus. Hunger dulled my mind. Step 5. She reviews these notes weekly, seeking patterns. She sees candles invite flow, but distractions steal it. With each entry, she learns, adjusting her days to call flow nearby. Behold her, wanderer. She sets digital boundaries, turning away the world's noise. She chases meaningful goals, her heart alight with purpose. She honors rest, her mind a clear spring. And with her flow diary, she charts her flow, when it came, what sparked it, what dimmed it. Day by day, these steps weave flow into her life. She is no longer a seeker, but a dweller in the river, her art a testament to its power. The world beyond is a tempest, pulling him from flow with its demands. But she, the artist, builds a life apart. Where screens intrude, she sets boundaries. Where tasks grow hollow, she chooses meaning. Where exhaustion looms, she rests. And with her diary, she learns the language of her flow. These are not heavy chains, but gentle threads, tying her to a life where flow is home. So it is, wanderer, for all who would live in flow. He may guard his time, chase what matters, rest deeply, and keep a diary of his flow's ways. Step by step, these shifts are simple: boundaries, goals, rest, and a record. Yet they forge a life where flow is no fleeting guest, but a constant companion. Carry this wisdom, and let flow be your way. This is the unconscious lens, where the soul's river runs free. Welcome, wanderer of time, to the twilight of our journey. You have crossed the river of flow, learned its craft, and woven it into life. Now let us climb the final peak, a vision of flow not as a tool, but as a return to the soul's truest home. Here we ponder the death of ego, the ancient echoes of flow, and its call to simply be. Walk with a flow seeker, a wanderer like you, and see flow's deeper truth, step by step, clear as the desert sky. Flow as the soul's true nature. She, the wanderer, paints beneath the stars. In flow, she forgets her fears, her comparisons to others, her anxious thoughts of tomorrow. The world's weight, its judgments, its doubts, falls away. Flow returns her to who she was before the mind learned to fret, before it learned to measure itself against shadows. It is her truest self, unburdened, alive in the act of creation. Step 2. Flow as the dissolution of ego. In flow, the self dissolves. Only the moment remains. She is no longer a wanderer striving, worrying, or proving. Her ego, the voice that says, "I am this, I must be that," grows silent. She is the brush, the color, the canvas. The learned ones, peering into the mind, see this. The brain's sentinel of self quiets, and she is free. Flow is not doing, but being, one with the now, like a drop merging with the sea. Step 3. The ancient echoes of flow. Long ago, the Taoists spoke of Wu Wei, effortless action. He, the flow seeker, moves like water, not forcing but flowing, his actions natural as a river's path. In Zen, the monks taught presence, sitting still to meet the moment, as she does in flow, her mind a mirror of the now. And Nietzsche, the sage of the West, urged, "Become who you are." In flow, she heeds this call, shedding masks to embody her essence. These ancient truths name flow's heart, a return to harmony, presence, being. Step 4. Flow as rebellion, as signal, as a way to be. The world beyond is a storm of distraction, screens that demand, voices that compare, noise that drowns the soul. In a world addicted to distraction, flow is rebellion. In a world of noise, it is signal. She, the wanderer, chooses flow, stepping away from chaos to embrace the moment. In the end, flow is not just a way to work, it is a way to be. It is her stand against the tempest, her song of presence, her life lived true. Behold her, wanderer of time. In flow, she returns to her truest nature before anxiety or comparison clouded her heart. Her ego dissolves, leaving only the moment. She walks the path of Wu Wei, Zen, and Nietzsche's call, becoming who she is. Against the world's clamor, she chooses flow, a rebellion, a signal, a way to be. Step by step, she lives not for tasks, but for the soul's quiet joy. So it is for you, wanderer. Flow is your return, your dissolution, your ancient truth. It is your rebellion against distraction, your signal in the noise. Embrace it not to achieve, but to be, to live as the stars live, shining without effort. Subscribe, The Unconscious Lens, where the soul's deepest truths are revealed. Go now and let flow be your way.